Good morning from Latvia. Such a wonderful day to discuss what's going on with our trade and economy. So, of course, Strait of Hormuz worries everyone now. And as for Latvian perspective, we at this moment see indirect implications in our economy. But of course, long-term and supply chains and accessibility of goods, these are the things that really concerns us. At the same time, we are seeing that because of Strait of Hormuz and because of peak of oil prices, Russia is increasing its revenues from selling it. In our view, it is unacceptable. We need to make sure that we are not dependent on the country who wants to destroy our democracies and destroy our future. So we already have tools. We need to implement those tools more actively. It is trade policy, it is of course sanctions, it's of course fighting the shadow fleet, etc., etc. And our response towards what's going on in Strait of Hormuz and in other places should be very direct. Should be really open to new trade agreements, should be really open to actually change the old ones to make sure that our companies can sell and we can participate in supply chains and we can actually earn more and have lesser tariffs. So we welcome the signing of the treaty with Mexico. Hopefully everything is going on good today there, and as well fully ready to implement with Mercosur. Our companies, Latvia is already selling, they are ready to sell more, and we have a list of companies who are ready to get into those markets and actually earn money and help our taxpayers in the country.
Minister, basically what you're saying when it comes to Russia earning more is that the EU should not at all follow the same thing that what the UK did to exempt certain Russian crude oil products made. You know, we shouldn't do that kind of thing ourselves.
I don't think so. Yes. What is the direct line between every economic activity with Russia is that they are fueling their war economy, killing Ukrainians, and trying to impose threats on our borders of eastern flank. But if any country of the European Union is affected, all union is affected. So there's a direct line in our understanding on that, and we should not place it under our economic vulnerabilities. We can find ways how to get crude oil from different places. There is a whole lot of options actually around.
But fuel prices are going up in Latvia as well.
Indeed, fuel prices went up for around 20%. But once again, if you compare the prices going up and possible threat to our security, it's two different things. You just can't, we just can't make compromises on that.
Do you think there will be a debate on China today, even though it's not on the agenda, since there is a lot of topical discussion on China? There's also a debate coming up at the Commission.
We'll see. Most likely someone will touch definitely China, but I'm myself going next week to the Security Council to actually speak with Chinese counterparts on what's going on in their part of the planet. So it's probably more about political and geopolitical part than economic part.
Do you think you should have a stronger stance on China in general?
Absolutely. I assume that actually we didn't discuss China threats as much as we needed to discuss them actually. And they're trying to influence our countries both politically and economically. And this should be much more on the table actually. You, I believe, have the question.
Thank you very much, Minister. Still on China, do you think that the European companies are doing enough to diversify from Chinese suppliers? Or they are just very much interested more in the, let's say, the competitive prices of the Chinese suppliers?
Well, companies are free to do what they want. It is, in my belief, the business of governments, actually, to make sure that our companies have more options. So it is, actually, the ball is on our side. And what we are trying to do, national in Latvia, we are trying to give them opportunities to invest in strategic spheres where we don't want to see huge impact from the countries who are not within the European Union. And second of all, as I already mentioned, free trade agreements should be what we should focus on. Because, of course, Latvia, as all other countries, have companies who trade with China. But if we, as national government or as European Union, provide them better opportunities to trade with others, with probably more like-minded partners, this is the way. We can't be, authoritarian, and we can't dictate companies what to do, but we need to provide them options.
At the same time, for example, now there's been a sanction Chinese supplier of chips. during the 20th package, and now the European automakers have made the Commission to lift the sanctions on this supplier of chips.
I understand your question. So we have vulnerabilities in some of the fields. That's totally understandable. So that's why our sanction decisions are not always like we are cutting everything off, but we definitely can cut what is not essential right away. If we have problems with one or another country, we can work on those vulnerabilities. Luckily, China or any other country is not the only one who produces chips. We have only few. That's true. But we can find a way how to work with them and how to balance it, because dependencies are always bad. Things are unpredictable, and we know that looking back in the history of the last 2 or 3 or 4 years. So we can't be vulnerable when we work with aggressors, when we work with non-democracies, when we work with countries which are not like-minded. When we have these alliances with like-minded countries, it's much easier to resolve misunderstandings. So, if it is it, have a nice day and enjoy the sun.
Yes.
For this.